Bleem Truth here, and my God, I have seen the worst, the absolute worst XDefiant takes I think I've ever seen this past weekend. And I'm here to kind of be a turbo nerd this video. Normally, you guys like to come here because, I don't know, I talk smack on Call of Duty, and I will be doing that this video somewhat, but there was a time way back in the day before I started ranting about Call of Duty and how shit it became, where I talked about the more nerdy aspects of Call of Duty. We're going to be doing that in this video as it pertains to XDefiant. I have about 12 hours of playtime now. Been playing most of the weekend, mostly solo, because I wanted to see what the solo experience was like, because that's actually how I prefer playing my games. I don't know if I'm just weird there, but like I like to hop on multiplayer games, like team games, and play solo and see how it feels. And I think this game feels pretty good solo. Now, you're not going to win as much and as often as you would with a party, even a few friends. But if you just want to hop on and shoot stuff, I think it's fun. It's a very team-oriented game, though. So the lack of SBMM helps in this regard. Like, you can kind of pop off even with bad teammates, which I do enjoy. And you're kind of going to see that in this video, but I digress. I want to cover the opinions I have seen about XDefiant and how I do love the dev team. I love Mark Rubin for being so open with us, so honest with us, and communicating with us every single step of the way and taking our feedback into account. But there needs to be a certain point where the devs and Mark Rubin say, guys, this is a bad idea, and we don't want to do it. And, I don't know, man. I fear that there's going to be too many people shouting different things and the devs might go in a different direction. I think they need to be grounded in this regard. Normally with Call of Duty, I'd say like, hey, give them suggestions because those devs don't really know what they're doing. But with XDefiant, I feel like they actually know what they're doing. And the game in its current state, like if I'm just being honest here, and I've played about 12 hours now, played most of the weekend, I'd give the game in its current state, honest to God, right hand to God, about an 8 out of 10 right now. I really, really enjoy it, and it's not perfect, there are some issues, but that doesn't take away the fact that I fucking enjoy it. I enjoy it so much, I've been talking about it a lot on Twitter because I'm actually excited to have a good fucking game again, and I'm sorry. But people are accusing me of getting paid off to like praise the game, or in their words, glaze the game. What is it with like the new generation? And maybe I'm just getting old here, but I'm gonna complain. What is it with these like magic words that just appear overnight and then people hop on the trend and they do nothing but use them constantly? If I have to hear fucking glazing and cooked and based one more fucking time, I'm gonna suplex the person that says it through a table that's on fire. ECW style, bitch. I will do it. I will do it. I watch a lot of wrestling. Anyway, guys, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about XDefiant and the devs and the game and stuff like that. The Call of Duty player base, you're not gonna believe the stuff I'm about to show you as far as their suggestions for the game goes. And these are people I like. These are people I respect. These are creators. Some of the worst opinions I have ever seen. And I'm sorry, I gotta call a spade. And we're gonna get to that after a brief word from this video's sponsor. Today's video is sponsored by Factor, and they have sponsored my channel many times in the past for good reason. I swear by their stuff. Whenever I don't feel like cooking, I always go to Factor. I've cut out fast food now. I've cut out delivery, which is just too expensive and too inconsistent, let's be honest. I just prefer Factor now. They deliver fresh, never frozen meals directly to my door. They have every option you can think of, from vegetarian to ketogenic to high protein to low calorie. And all of their stuff that I have tried is absolutely delicious. Pop it in the microwave for 2 to 3 minutes, and that's it. You are good to go. As you can see here, these macros fit me perfectly. As someone who works out, I get carbohydrates, I get fat, I get protein exactly how I want it, and it meets my macros perfectly. Factor also has these delicious protein shakes. The cold brew latte even has caffeine in it, so this is an excellent pre-workout. But my personal favorite has to be the Cinnamon Horchata protein shake. Legitimately, this is the best protein shake I have ever had in my life. If you don't believe me, pick some up. head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code CODFATHER50 to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's code CODFATHER50 at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month of orders. This is a fantastic deal. Check it out. If you're disappointed with a lot of fast food options like I am, Factor's for you. All right, guys, welcome back to the video. Let's just first and foremost cover Mark Rubin and the team, because I seriously have never seen this with a shooter developer before, or any dev before, really. Maybe the Helldivers devs are this, open with the community, but other than that, I have not seen anything like this. Let's first cover this little tweet thread by Mark Rubin here, the main guy behind XDefiant. Hey all, I wanted to post another video from Exclusive Ace. I've always found him very insightful and honest, which I highly appreciate. This is an important video, and I'll explain why. This video is about two of XDefiant's biggest problems right now. Mark goes on to say, first, you don't usually see devs posting videos about what's wrong with their game, but I think that it's important to listen, acknowledge, and own these issues. We want to be a game that lasts for a long time, and to do that, we need to be honest with you and ourselves. And second, I really want to reiterate that we do see all of these comments, and we are working on changes and fixes to improve not only these two issues, but also many more. Now, the game has been out less than a week and is doing great, and a lot of people are having a great time, but we also know there are people out there who are having issues as well, and I promise you, you are not being ignored. Game development takes time, but we are working hard to make the experience great for everyone. Not perfect, that's a pipe dream in a multiplayer game, but at least great. So one of the clips that Ace puts in his video shows a crazy ping spike right before the issue, and you can see the network icons going yellow and red. This is helpful to the team in trying to diagnose, so please, if you can, turn on the FPS, ping, and network status icons. So, the biggest complaints, if you haven't watched that Ace video, are pretty much the hit detection and the connection or whatever, and the bunny hopping in the game. Now, I'm going to give my take on this before I get into the Call of Duty player base opinions, because they are horrendous, and we need to have a nice discussion about stuff before I get to that. But the bunny hopping thing, I think needs to be toned down a little bit, but not really like nerfed into the ground. I think that you should be able to evade. Ace explains it in the video. There needs to be like kind of a trade-off, for jumping around and stuff. I'm getting better at my jumping and maneuvering and dodging shots and whatnot in this game. And I don't know, there is a skill gap there. I don't want to see it go away, but I do want to see it toned down just a little bit, maybe just a limiter on multiple jumps in a row. I think one jump, maybe two max is good, but to see people doing it 4 to 5 times in a gunfight, a little bit much. The connection thing, I'm going to shock you guys here, and you can watch this gameplay just to see, but I really haven't had that many instances of bad hit detection or any kind of connection issues at all, really. I'm consistently around 30 ping every single match. I don't really... I personally don't notice anything, and maybe that's like Call of Duty Stockholm Syndrome from dealing with fucking packet burst constantly, or dealing with my ping gradually getting worse. If I pop off a game or two and then get put into a lobby with Team Moderate to Severe Acne stationed in Bangladesh, my ping's gonna be awful because the game wants me to lose. It's all rigged. So I haven't had too many issues with that. There are some instances where I've had some hit detection problems with the shotgun specifically. These delayed deaths will happen. It's kind of weird, but it's really only with the shotguns. I haven't really noticed it. I mean, I'm sure it's there, but I personally have not really noticed it with just the pew-pew, LMGs or whatever, SMGs. Maybe, again, maybe I just... I don't know, maybe it's happening and I'm just not realizing it. I don't know, but I think these two issues are relatively minor. I think the snipers are a little overtuned as well, especially if you're on mouse and keyboard. I do input-based matchmaking, controller only, and they're still pretty damn good. So I think that these are 3 issues that I have with the game. Currently, the game's at 8 out of 10. If these issues get fixed, the game's going to be a 9 out of 10 for me. Just, my personal opinion. But they're not that big of an issue. Outside of that, I think the game is about perfect. And I'm not even glazing, bro. I'm not. I'm just saying that, I don't know. When you see what the devs are actually trying to do here, they've got this really addictive, good gameplay loop. And it's quite simple. Some people are saying it's too simple, but no, I like the simplicity, man. You know, I played Dead by Daylight a lot last year. I got into that game. If you look at that game on the surface, it looks super simple, but it's the gameplay loop and how the gameplay takes the forefront, the shooting and objective gameplay in this game, and then with the ultimates and the factions and the abilities and stuff. It's very addictive, but not in the same way as like Call of Duty is, where it's constantly throwing shit at the fan and overloading your senses, you know, which is garbage. There's like a Gundam in one corner, a furry in another corner, and then, you know, Snoop Dogg in another corner, and then Nicki Minaj is like teabagging me with her flappy pussy lips on the battlefield. I don't know what to, like, I don't know what to make of it. All the while, I'm lagging around because the servers are dog shit, and I am just not having a good time because the matchmaking's rigged, and the ping's bad, and etc., etc. All right, first and foremost, let's look at our boy Thunder here. I love Thunder. He's been a friend of mine for, God, like 2 decades now. Nearly 2 decades, but I can't jive with this take. Like, if you want, play XDefiant to add kill streaks. XDefiant Alerts as well wants kill cams like Call of Duty. Let's also kind of segue into Raid Away here. I feel like XDefiant needs kill streaks and score streaks. I feel like a simple UAV would go such a long way in matches. Just feel like I'm not working towards anything in the middle of a match. How do you feel about this? And he got 3K likes on it, but I had to just respond here, and I don't know. I disagree. I disagree with Thunder and Raid Away here. The UAV are the Splinter Cell guys with the global radar ability. Keep streaks out of this. Will only hurt objective play. Cosmetic streaks like reactive gun camo and effects would be cool, but streaks in these powerful abilities and ults will be too much. I feel like the health regeneration takes forever, so I feel more inclined to rock Libertad to even have a chance in gunfights, but I hear you. And I say the radar wall hacks are global though, so the whole team gets them. And for that matter, a friendly Libertad will heal you just by being near them, because this is a very team-oriented shooter, much more team-oriented than Call of Duty. Think of this more like Overwatch and not COD, and it makes more sense. Teamwork and everyone running different factions is key. And Rich says, yeah, that makes sense. And to be fair, I haven't played with a whole squad that actually uses different factions and have different roles, so it would probably be a better experience. Then there are guys like this. I had a tweet kind of go off on Twitter and get a good amount of likes, and this guy says, dude, you got to stop with the XDefiant glazing. The game is not great. Kills give you no dope, and the netcode is horrendous, like the worst I've seen. It's a cheesy shooter. Black Ops Cold War is a way better game, and it was made in 18 months or something. Yeah, I'd rather teabag a live bear trap than ever play Cold War multiplayer again, but you do you, buddy. I'm sorry, guys, but the only way kills give you no dopamine in this game is if you're not fucking getting kills in the first place. Tell me when I'm telling lies. This is actually, and I'm not just saying this is actually one of the most satisfying shooters I've played, personally, at least in the last, like, decade, as far as, like, how kills feel, especially multi-kills. It gives me that old school kind of Halo vibe, you know? Where you get the announcer saying like double kill, triple kill, and all that. In this game, it's a little bit simpler. You get the medals and stuff, but there's this little like tempo sound in the background that goes higher in pitch when you chain kills together. So you'll kill somebody, it'll go like dun, and then the next one's like dun, 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 dun. You know, it keeps going up. I think that with the higher amount of health in this game, if you're knocking motherfuckers out pretty quick, you're getting headshots, and the headshot sound is beefy and juicy, and I enjoy it. I think the guns feel good. There are other people out there saying this game feels clunky. Guys, I swear to you, right hand to God, I don't know what in the hell these people are talking about. Are they paid by Activision just to hate on this game? This game feels smooth as silk to me. Now, granted, I'm playing on PC, I'm playing on controller, and I'm playing at 144 FPS, as you can see up there in the upper left-hand corner. I have the rig to do that. I can run this game no problem. It feels good. This game is smooth as silk, personally. I have no issues with the movement, how it feels, what have you. Compared to Call of Duty legitimately feels worse because of the packet burst, the constant rubber banding, and the laggy servers that I have to deal with constantly. This game does not have that. This game it's smooth as silk. Now, I want to just do another gameplay here and kind of ramble a little bit to end this video, but like, guys, I want to explain why just making this a carbon copy Call of Duty clone is not the way to go. I do not want to see kill streaks. I do not want to see kill streaks. Do you know why? Because if you incentivize kill streaks or even score streaks, it hurts people playing the objective. This entire game is an objective-based shooter. The reason it plays so fast, the reason there's never any real downtime, the reason people don't really camp in this game is because this is an objective-based shooter. The object of the game is not to go 40-5 and post it on YouTube. The object of the game is to win the game. Use teamwork with your teammates and win the game. It's not about anything else. You could be the top scoring player in the lobby going negative. You could be like 20-40, but if you spend more time on the objective than your entire team combined, you are a better player than your team. It doesn't matter if the guy below you is like 40-5 or whatever. It doesn't matter at all. All that matters is the W. And Call of Duty players, I think it's just that selfish mindset where they just want to like get a chopper gunner and mow people down. And I get that. That's Call of Duty, you know? But like people constantly complain about players, especially randoms, not playing the objective. Hell, even their friends not playing the objective in Call of Duty. No one wants to hop on the flag because they're on a streak and they're a ways away from getting a chopper gunner that's just going to get shot down in 5 seconds anyway, because kill streaks in Call of Duty are so worthless now. They may as well not even be a thing. They are absolutely worthless. We already played Cold War, where every streak in the game is basically a moot point because of air patrol. Anything you call in that's like a heavy duty, you know, hard-earned streak, it just gets air patrolled. So you've already played a Call of Duty without streaks pretty much, you know, in a vacuum. And why do you want that back? Like, why do you want people to not play the objective? Why do you need streaks to give you dopamine? I need dopamine. You guys sound like a bunch of fucking crack addicts. Go, I don't know, go work out. You want some dopamine? Go lift some weights until you look like Giga Chad. That's some good dopamine. Eat a nice, succulent, medium rare steak. I prefer my steak medium rare. Have a beer or something, man. Like, there are other ways to get dopamine other than these, like, rigged, easy casino kills in Call of Duty. I swear to you right now, the casino-based matchmaking has rotted every single Call of Duty player's brain. As an old-school shooter player, from fucking Gears of War 1 to Halo 3 to Call of Duty 4 and then everything in between until now. I'm telling you, this game does not need streaks. I don't want to see streaks. I don't want to see any of that. The factions are enough, in my humble opinion. I think the game plays great how it is, and you're gonna hate streaks in this game. You might think you want streaks. You're gonna hate it. Hell, I don't even want to see kill cams. I truly do not want to see kill cams. Most of the time, people just hammer X through them anyway, and you know that's true. 99% of the time, you just smash X and you don't even watch it. I don't want to see more things like Call of Duty in this game if it's not needed. I'm so sick of seeing kill cams. Kill cams aren't even accurate. Kill cams aren't even accurate. So, like, it's just going to cause more confusion in the game and make people think that the game has horrendous netcode and whatnot. Like, I don't want to see it. I'm sick of seeing kill cams. I'm sick of seeing anything Call of Duty. I'm sick of that formula being shoved into my face. I'm sick of people coming over from Call of Duty trying to make other games Call of Duty. You know, stop it. This game is its own thing. Yes, it feels like Call of Duty and Overwatch, but it's not really like either of those games either. You know, it's its own thing. It truly is its own thing. I think it's a fairly unique video game, and I think that it has the basis to be one of the best arena shooters ever if they keep on the path they are on. I think the game launching how it launched, it's great. I mean, it works. Again, no real bugs in 12 hours of playtime. Who can say that about Call of Duty on launch in the past 5 years, you know? And this game's free. This game's free to play. Like, dude, leave the streaks, the Call of Duty stuff out of it. leave that stuff to Call of Duty, all right? I don't want to see it in other games. I'm sorry. You can bring the guns from Call of Duty that were made popular in Call of Duty to this game, and they have, and they feel great, and I love using them. I love using guns that are named what they actually are in real life. I love this damn SAW! M249 SAW! I used it back in Call of Duty 4. I'm using it now. It's my favorite gun in the game. I can't wait to get the M60. I think I may have just recently unlocked it. Anyway, the only real other issue I've seen people complaining about is that there's not enough to grind for and unlock and whatnot. But no, actually, there is a ton to grind for and unlock. And what I mean by that is you have the standard battle pass, of course. You have the mastery camos for your weapon, of course. I've heard that they will be adding a traditional prestige mode or something like it in this game. But the main thing to grind and strive for in this particular game is something that is probably unheard of to the modern day Call of Duty gamer. And that is individual skill, or even skill as a team. You see, this game does not have skill-based matchmaking. You will not be protected if you do poorly. You will not be punished if you do well. And that is something to strive for and grind for. When I first picked up this game, I was not very good at it. This is a pretty hard game to kind of get the hang of. Even though I've been playing shooters a long time, it's much different. And I haven't been playing shooters much at all in the past couple of years because Call of Duty sucks so bad. So, like, that's my main game that I cover on this channel. It's the main shooter I want to play. It just sucks, you know? I don't know. This game took me several hours to kind of get the hang of, and I'm still nowhere near, like, the best I can be. The learning curve, it's going to take a while to get there. It's going to take a while to unlock a bunch of stuff. I think this game has more variety just in the gameplay than Call of Duty has had in the past 5 years with everything combined. You know, if you want variety in Call of Duty, you got to shell out 20, 30 bucks for a skin that's going to give you some, I don't know, stupid melee attack that you can hit maybe 1 out of every 3 matches because, I mean, you got to do pretty bad to actually even experience, like, those melee attacks anyway. You can't get close to these people if they're, you know, popping off just like you were popping off in the previous match or whatever, unless you're just a god. But I don't know, man. I just wanted to talk about this, and maybe you guys agree, maybe you don't agree. I don't know. But I don't want to see the bad ideas in Call of Duty or the tired ideas in Call of Duty come to this game. Call of Duty, what's really interesting in closing here, what's really interesting about XDefiant is that I've played the opening SBMM playlist and I've played just the regular no SBMM playlist. It feels roughly the same. This game, if it did have skill-based matchmaking, would probably still work. It probably would be just fine because it's such a team-oriented game. With the lobby balancing how it is, I play solo with the lobby balancing how it is. It feels basically just like skill-based matchmaking in any other game that's not Call of Duty, you know, pretty much. Like, it's going to lobby balance so that the teams are relatively even, and it's always done that, and that's a necessary evil. That pretty much has to be done. It can't just be a complete slot machine. I think when you do search solo, the game does match you against other solo queue players too, which is, that's good SBMM, you know? That's good! Who doesn't want that? I don't want to face a full party when I'm just doing solo. That wouldn't be very fun. Input-based matchmaking, party size-based matchmaking, these things are great. I think this game truly would probably be fine with skill-based matchmaking as long as they kept the ping consistent as well. But still, it doesn't have it. Now, on the flip side, Call of Duty, skill-based matchmaking does not work in that game. And why? Why? Because streaks. Streaks were introduced for players that popped off in Call of Duty as a reward for popping off and doing well. And it was really fun consistently getting streaks game after game after game, or at the very least, being able to run higher tier stuff that maybe you don't get every game, but you get it and it feels good when you do get it and it pops off when you do get it. With skill-based matchmaking, streaks have become an afterthought. On top of getting weakened year after year, skill-based matchmaking makes streaks pointless. Like, it's honestly pointless to run anything, or at least I found it pointless to run anything but like a UAV and then like a mid-tier streak and then maybe like a helicopter or something. Anything higher than that, pointless. Anything lower than that, boring. I don't know. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I've talked a lot. I will catch you on the next one. Have a good one. Peace out.
parting advice?